Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So really quickly, I'd like to point out that I made a minor mistake in some recent videos. I've been saying that most adult Americans have a college degree. It's actually like 48% or so have an AA degree or better, and 39% or so have a bachelor's degree or better, putting me in the top 1/3 or so of Americans in terms of education with some kind of certificate. Though my research, right, my self-education goes far beyond a PhD in economics and sociology, what have you, in philosophy, as I've zoomed in on what matters the most in regards to those things, etc. Now let's talk about, the three major stances in society and how two of them are very, very stupid. Very stupid. One is people who are saying that they do not want their children to be indoctrinated with the LGBT agenda, but they do want them to be indoctrinated with white supremacy on a spectrum. They don't necessarily want them to be taught by the Klan, but they want some kind of white supremacist teaching so they can be quote unquote proud to be white, or something similar to white, right? Whitewashed, Jewish, what have you. The next one are people who do not want their kids to be indoctrinated with white supremacy, but they do want them to be indoctrinated with LGBT agenda stuff, like this Snoop Dogg controversy in the news, where they had two females raising a kid in a cartoon, and he made a big fuss about it, and the Australian Football League counseled him, or are talking about counseling him, in some kind of event that's coming up. The third stance is called being a human being. Being a human being with sense. It's the only logical stance of the three. Is someone who does not want their children or anyone else indoctrinated with either one. Okay, it is stupid to try to force people to live like a white supremacist or a white supremacist stooge or slave or modern slave, what have you. It is also stupid to want people to force your children to be LGBT. We hear stories, and they often are true, I'd imagine, of children who are forced to get sex changes, who are coerced, who are tricked by their teachers to get sex changes. Children don't know what they want, right? The teacher puts it in their head that they should, do something which is stupid, which is change their sex, right, and get a surgery, and the kid, falls into that trap. We see the gender-neutral bathrooms. In some cases, they make some sense, right? In other cases, they don't make sense. I went to a restaurant in San Francisco, and they instead of having two bathrooms with a lot of stalls, they had one bathroom that was gender-neutral. And when you go to the stalls, you're right next to a woman in the next stall. That is some weirdo stuff. It sets the stage for weirdos who like to record people going to the bathroom to do that type of stuff. Very sick. The trannies in sports beating the hell out of a young chick. And worst of all, these people who harass me every day because I won't be gay. They change my voice to sound gay in the videos. They fume me and poison me. But it's not just the LGBT community that's persecuting me. It is also white supremacists and Jewish supremacists and countless people in organizations, minorities, gangs, what have you. People in fraternities who are working with them to target me. Society does not have any sense. What's very alarming is we've seen a lot of time go by and they didn't correct the mistake because of how things are structured, because of the existing social orders. They're insufficient. If they were sufficient, they would have corrected the mistake by now. It would have never occurred. They would have caught it the first time, etc. They sat there while the best years of people's lives were being wasted. They sat there while dating and everything was being destroyed. while idiots were pumping white, Jewish, and LGBT supremacy into society. And so, again, I challenge everyone who thinks it's a good idea to play stupid, or anyone who thinks that you should be a white or Jewish or LGBT supremacist, I challenge you to a debate. And I'm going to make a video after this to help you understand some of the material I would use in the debate, which the government is aware of to some degree as they have me under surveillance, and that's why they haven't sent any shell to debate me. That's why they're suppressing my videos, because they know that I'm right. And so they stoop to the level of denying me my constitutional rights every day, every moment of every day. As I scramble every moment of every day to get the message out, they scramble to stop me in a way that is clearly illegal. And it clearly goes against the essence of American values. Not that I so much care about what Americans value. I'm a man of God. But their hypocrisy is extreme. Because the essence of American values is the Constitution. When we're talking about secular American values. They're not doing this for America. They're doing this for white, Jewish, and LGBT supremacy. And those things are the biggest enemy of the United States of America when it comes to the Constitution, when it comes to what it means to be an American. Islamic terrorists are not the ones targeting me. White, Jewish, and LGBT supremacists are. Islamic terrorists are not killing tons of people in America all the time. The governing class with their failed policies are doing that. Countless preventable deaths, hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths a year in America alone because of the policies of the governing class. Can you imagine? If I'm in the top 1% of education between being self-taught and my college degree, and they don't want to debate me because they have their nose in the air, what does that mean for you? You and your friends. When you get together with the 100 people that you know the best on the planet, and together your knowledge is less than mine, if they don't hear me out, are they going to hear you out? If they think they're above debating a brain-searching son who's the top martial artist ever possible, do they think they're above hearing you out and debating you? Is that the kind of country you want to live in? That's what you call freedom?